Between unlikely contracts, exchanged glances, and the discovery of what truly matters, a journey full of emotions and twists awaits. Are you ready to meet Logan and Clara? Then get ready to fall in love with a story that proves love can bloom where you least expect it. In the charming coastal city of Charleston, known for its cobblestone streets and historic houses, lived Logan Harris, a respected chef and owner of a renowned restaurant. Logan had an unmatched passion for cooking, but carried a wound in his heart. Years ago, his fiancée, Olivia, had left him just before their wedding, choosing a successful businessman over him. Since then, Logan buried himself in work, avoiding any kind of emotional involvement. One day, an unexpected invitation landed on his desk. It was for an exclusive event gathering the city's most prominent figures. Knowing Olivia would be there with her husband, Logan felt a mix of anxiety and determination. He needed to show he had moved on but didn't want to attend alone. For a moment, he considered the idea forming in his mind to be crazy and immature, completely unlike the rational, focused man he prided himself on being. Yet deep down, he knew he hadn't fully overcome the betrayal that scarred him so deeply. Determined to act on emotion rather than reason, Logan decided to follow through with his idea. He would hire someone to pose as his date. But not just any actress or superficial presence. He wanted someone authentic, someone who could bring spontaneity and warmth to the evening. The next day, while walking through the local market in search of fresh ingredients, Logan spotted Clara Bennett. She was a young artist, her hair casually tied back, wearing a paint-stained apron as she sold her paintings from a modest stall. There was something about Clara that made him stop. Perhaps it was the genuine glow of her smile or the passion reflected in her eyes as she explained the meaning of her artwork to a customer. For a moment, Logan hesitated, thinking that approaching her with his idea might seem crazy, immature, and completely out of place. But before he could convince himself to back down, an inner voice urged him forward. He knew that part of him hadn't fully moved on from Olivia's betrayal, and for the first time in years, he decided to let emotion guide him. Without further delay, he walked purposefully toward Clara's stall. "Hi, my name is Logan. I have a rather unusual proposal for you," he said with a slight smile as he approached. Clara raised an eyebrow, intrigued. "A proposal? What kind of proposal?" Logan explained his situation with honesty. He needed a companion for the event and was willing to pay well for it. Clara, initially skeptical, thought it over. Her financial situation was tight, and the opportunity seemed too good to pass up. Moreover, Logan's vulnerability piqued her curiosity. "All right, Logan. I'll help you, but on one condition: no complicated lies. Just authenticity," Clara said with a decisive smile. In the days leading up to the event, Logan and Clara spent more time together, preparing for their appearance. Clara's vibrant and creative personality brightened Logan's days in unexpected ways. He took her to his restaurant, where she tasted dishes he had crafted with love and dedication. Clara was fascinated by Logan's passion for cooking, noticing how each dish told a story. In return, she invited him to her studio, a space filled with vibrant colors and unfinished canvases, where she shared not just her art but also her inspirations and dreams. Logan found himself deeply drawn to Clara's way of seeing the world, her lightheartedness, and her ability to find beauty in the simplest things. Each moment they shared seemed to lift the weight off his shoulders. He discovered in her an incredible talent for turning every interaction into something meaningful and special. What began as a professional arrangement quickly transformed into a genuine connection filled with laughter, confidences, and a surprising harmony. On the night of the event, Clara appeared stunning in a lilac dress that highlighted her natural beauty, its details catching the soft light of the room. Logan, upon seeing her, was momentarily speechless. He stepped closer and whispered with a subtle smile, "You look amazing." As they entered the venue together with confidence, the impact was immediate. All eyes turned to them, including Olivia's. At first, she tried to feign indifference, averting her gaze as if she didn't care. But as she noticed how radiant Clara looked and the seamless connection between her and Logan, she couldn't help but fixate on them. The effortless way Clara moved and Logan's protective, attentive demeanor by her side created a stark contrast to what Olivia had expected to see. "Who is she?" Olivia asked a friend, trying to keep a neutral tone but unable to completely hide a hint of jealousy. "Clara Bennett, a local artist. She's incredible, don't you think?" "It seems like there's something special between them," her friend replied with a slight smile. Olivia couldn't hide her frustration. Even as she tried to ignore it, the way Logan smiled at Clara and how connected they seemed deeply bothered her. Meanwhile, Logan noticed Olivia watching them for a moment. His mind drifted to memories of the past, but there was no bitterness left, only an understanding that he was finally in a better place. When he looked at Clara, he saw not just a companion for the evening, but someone who had brought lightness and hope into his life. Throughout the night, Clara impressed everyone with her charm and engaging conversation. She wasn't just accompanying Logan, she stood out, winning over admirers with her natural demeanor. Logan felt a quiet pride being by her side, realizing that for the first time in years, he wasn't trying to prove anything to anyone. At one point during the party, Logan allowed his gaze to wander across the room, and from a distance, he spotted Olivia. She was chatting with a group of people, but for a moment, their eyes met. There was something strange in that silent exchange. He noticed a subtle curiosity masked in Olivia's expression, but he felt nothing. Without resentment or pain, he looked away. And as he did, his eyes immediately landed on Clara. In that instant, Logan realized the stark contrast between the two women. Olivia, someone he had once loved deeply but whose betrayal had left him bitter and closed off from the world, and Clara, with her light and kind soul, who had brought brightness and hope into his life in such a short time. He understood now. The whole idea of bringing someone to impress Olivia had been unnecessary from the start. Clara wasn't there to be part of a game but to show him that he had, indeed, moved on. Logan smiled softly at Clara, who was animatedly chatting with one of the guests. It was almost amusing to realize that everything he needed to heal from the past had been right in front of him all along. The arrangement with Clara hadn't just helped him mend old wounds, it showed him that he felt nothing for Olivia anymore. No anger, no sadness, no love. Nothing. He was finally a free man. Later in the evening, Clara continued to captivate the crowd with her warmth and charisma. Logan, on the other hand, recognized that he no longer needed to prove anything to Olivia. For the first time in years, he felt light, as though he could finally leave the past behind. But the climax came when Olivia approached Logan. "Logan, you've changed. I never thought I'd see you so happy," she said, trying to start a conversation. Logan replied with a calm smile. "I've learned to value what truly matters, Olivia. I hope you found that too." As Olivia walked away, Clara observed the scene in silence. When Logan returned to her, he held her hand firmly. Logan grasped Clara's hand tightly and looked into her eyes, but this time, something was different in his gaze. It was a mixture of gratitude, admiration, and something Clara couldn't immediately identify. Feeling the warmth of that moment, her cheeks flushed, and she looked away, trying to hide her growing emotion. "I think it's about time we head out, don't you?" Clara said lightly, attempting to break the moment. Logan blinked, as if snapping out of a trance, and agreed with a smile. "Yes, of course. Let's go." As they left the event together, the night seemed to carry a different weight. Back at home, Clara felt something shifting inside her. Logan's gaze lingered in her thoughts. Was it real? Or just something in the moment? She wondered. No matter how much she tried to rationalize it, she couldn't shake the feeling that something special had just happened. But the arrangement was just for tonight. "We fulfilled the deal, and tomorrow life goes on," she concluded, trying to calm her restless heart. In the days that followed, neither Logan nor Clara could stop thinking about each other. Logan often glanced at his phone, debating whether to call her, but hesitated for fear of being intrusive. Clara, on the other hand, found herself staring at her paintings, distracted, as thoughts of Logan flooded her mind. Both were caught in a silent game of longing and hesitation. Finally, Logan couldn't resist any longer. Gathering his courage, he called Clara. "Hi, Clara. It's Logan. I hope I'm not bothering you. I just wanted to thank you again for accompanying me to the event. Actually, I was wondering, would you like to have dinner with me? Nothing formal, just two friends catching up. I really enjoyed our time together, even in such a short period." Clara smiled as she heard his voice on the other end of the line. "Of course, Logan. When?" On the agreed day, Clara arrived at Logan's restaurant after hours, as he had suggested. The atmosphere was calm and inviting, with candlelight reflecting softly off the polished silverware. Logan had prepared a special dinner just for them. Throughout the evening, their conversation flowed naturally, alternating between laughter and comfortable silences. Both felt a mix of nervousness and anticipation in the air. At one point in the evening, Logan set his utensils aside, looked directly at Clara, and summoned the courage to speak. "Clara, I need to tell you something. From the moment I saw you at the market, something about you caught my attention. At first, I thought it was just a practical solution to a problem, but as the days passed and I got to know you better, I realized it was so much more than that. You brought something into my life that I didn't even know I needed. Clara, I know this started as an arrangement, but for me, it became much more. I want to try something real with you." Clara was silent for a moment, letting his words echo within her. With tears welling in her eyes and a sincere smile, she replied, "Logan, I've been trying to understand my feelings these past few days, but now it's clear. I want this too. Something real. You've brought light into my life, and I want to be by your side to see what else we can build together." Logan's smile widened, and he held her hand across the table. In that moment, they both knew they had found something special, something neither of them had expected, but that would transform their lives forever. From that moment on, Logan and Clara embarked on a journey of true love. They discovered that even amidst contracts and appearances, authenticity and affection could bloom. Together, they built a life where their passions for cooking and art intertwined, proving that the best love stories are born from simplicity and genuine connection. Clara and Logan's story reminds us that, even in the most unexpected moments, when we let go of the past and embrace the present with authenticity, true love can emerge. Sometimes, it takes a small twist of fate to remind us that the heart knows its way. After all, love doesn't require grand gestures or elaborate plans. It flourishes in the honesty of a glance and the gentleness of a touch. Destiny always finds a way to bring together two souls meant to cross paths. If you were touched by Clara and Logan's story, don't forget to like and share. Subscribe for more heartwarming tales that remind us of love's transformative power. See you next time.